I am livid today, and I wish I could say I was surprised. I wish I could say that I didn't see this coming, but you know what? I did. Um, I used to be optimistic in this country. I used to believe in democracy in our country, just prevailing right to be human, that civil rights were a thing that we cared about in this country, that we cared about moving forward from our history and our path of promoting slavery and not giving women opportunities to work outside of the home, to not have a life, to not have an education. I thought we were moving forward from this, and I guess within the last 10 years or so, though, I really lost a lot of that optimism. It's a really scary place to live right now. It's very scary. I just want my international subscribers to understand this about living in America, okay? You can have a neighbor that smiles to your face, waves at you from across the street, and they're out voting for Trump. There's a thing called Iowa Nice in our state, and this is where I always say I would rather a million times over someone be kind to me than nice. So what is the difference between being nice and being kind? To me, being kind is telling hard truths sometimes. It is not always pretending like everything is okay when it's not. And I noticed that must be like an American thing, because it seems like what I know about foreign countries, especially European countries, particularly the Dutch. I am actually part Dutch, by the way. A significant portion of my father's family, they came over to America during the late 1600s from the Netherlands. So my ancestry is all over the place, but a significant portion is Dutch. What I like about the Dutch and why I would love to move there, I would love to move to Amsterdam, is that it seems like while they are like the happiest country in the world, or at least in the top 10, right? They complain a lot. And I know to a lot of people that they talk about American optimism, they talk about our can-do spirit, our can-do attitude, or whatever it is. I feel like in Europe, they are more pragmatic over there. They are more honest. And if something isn't working, people will speak up more instead of just going along with the status quo. And I know a lot of that has to do with the security they feel in their jobs, the social safety networks they have there. Speaking up here leads to you being fired, leads to you losing your health care, your right to just basic safety, your right to food and shelter. Speaking up here is frowned upon to that degree, and we're always afraid of losing the little we've built, right? We have no job security here. You can get fired for literally anything. It is incredibly easy to get fired in America. So this is a big reason a lot of people in America don't speak up, even though they may feel strongly on certain issues. Our country is a dumpster fire, and anyone who pretends like, oh, it's just another election, it's not a big deal, that's what democracy is, right? We let the majority speak for us. No, this isn't the majority. And if you look at the Electoral College, it doesn't actually reflect where populations of people live. And the majority of us, what we do want, is not being represented in our Electoral College, in our voting. It's very backwards here. And I live in a Bible Belt state. We used to be more progressive. We were never very progressive, but I think we were one of the first states to legalize gay marriage in our country. So I thought, graduating college, things would go uphill instead of downhill, right? I thought we were on a trajectory for more social supports, for more inclusive communities for minorities and immigrants. And what has happened, even in the last decade or so, has been the opposite of that. Things have gone downhill. Things have gone backwards. It is becoming literally the Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood here. We are losing autonomy over our own bodies. I'm still in childbearing years. I hope I don't have a child, to be honest, but if I did need to get an abortion, I would have to go out of state, and even then it would be incredibly difficult. The waiting lists The waiting lines are incredibly long. It's going to keep getting harder and harder to have control over our bodies as women. And I fear for my niece. I fear for all the young women in our country, especially, that they don't have what we had at all. They don't even have that optimism and hope that we used to have. It's just a really hard, sad time to live in this country. And it's like people don't have history books. They don't see this is literally what happened in Nazi Germany, right? This is what happened. Citizens, well-meaning citizens, they only cared about keeping the status quo. They only cared about appeasing those in power. They only cared about their safety, their home, their money, their source of security. They didn't see that we're all connected. If one person is left out of the social network, if one person is left to starve on the streets, to be homeless, then we all are subject to that. We all need each other to function in a society. Nobody is above the society that we live in. We need people. We need the services our city provides. We need public transportation. We need public education, whether or not Kim Reynolds thinks that we should have public education, that it should all be privatized, and then only the wealthy families in Iowa are able to go to a decent school and get an education. They want to restrict minorities. They want to restrict immigrants from getting that same education, and call it what they will, but it's racist. It is classist. It is elitist bull. And I'm over it. I'm over this, and I have every right to be angry about it. And so should all of you. If you're not angry, you're not paying attention. You're not. And if you're not scared, you're not paying attention. And if you need to go read a history book to see what happened in Nazi Germany, then go do that, please. And if you're a Holocaust denier, if you are, if you're anti just knowledge in general, education, get off my channel, get off my Instagram. I'm having none of it. If you voted for Trump, get the hell out of my life, okay? You are not a good person. You can pretend that you are. You can pretend that you care about other people and that, oh, it's for the best. He's not going to do what he says he's going to do. Oh, but he is such a good businessman. He can bring back business and the economy in America. How many times has that man been bailed out by our government? How many times has that man failed at the very businesses he pretends to be so great at sustaining, right? How many times has he been bailed out? He has never had to build anything from scratch. He's always had help. He's always been wealthy. He has never had to really struggle for anything in his life. So to say that he knows best for the working class in our country, for the poor people in our country, you are delusional, okay? And if you think it's going to trickle down to you, take an economics lesson. Did that work in the 80s with Ronald Reagan? Did trickle down economics actually work, or have things gotten worse since then? So just pay attention to what's going on. Don't allow it to happen in your community. And I'm very ashamed. I'm very ashamed to live in this state. I'm ashamed to live in this country. And if you voted for Trump, you should be ashamed of yourself, okay? You should be ashamed that you are responsible for ruining democracy in our country. You are part of the problem. You need to think outside of yourself. You need to think outside of your current tax breaks. You need to think outside of your current income bracket. It's not all about money. And that's what I'm fed up with. It's not all about money. Money can easily be taken away from you. You can easily lose your job anytime. What you have is your health, your morality, your kindness, your community that you build. Those are the things that you have that are yours, that are forever. Money, houses can, even if you own your home, a fire could happen. You could lose your home, and you spent all of your life chasing that almighty dollar. What do you really have to show for it then? I'm sick of it, and I'm sick of Iowa nice. You know what? I would rather someone be blunt and tell me to my face how they feel, how things are going, when they're upset with something, than pretend like everything's fine to my face and then just be so completely hateful and unaware of things outside their own home, outside their own narrow viewpoint. So what am I doing today? I'm making plans. I'm dreaming of a future, maybe not in this country even. I'm dreaming of just a place where I can feel safe, where not every citizen is concealed carrying a gun. I want to feel safe in my own home. I don't care about things. I don't care about money. I want just to have enough to, take care of my family, to feed us, to clothe us, to have a roof over our head, maybe to go on a vacation once in a while. That's all I ever really want. I don't care about material things, okay? I know we all need money to a certain degree, but after that, it does not contribute to happiness. There is a point when it makes you more unhappy to always be chasing that almighty dollar, to be working 24/7, to never have any downtime from your work life, to never have any work-life balance. So that's something my husband and I are definitely going to have to be considering moving forward, if we want to stay in this country, and if we do, what that means. But yes, I'm bisexual. I don't really talk about that much on this channel. I guess some people think it doesn't matter since I can pass, right? That I'm married to a man. I have been since I knew that girls existed, since I saw Michelle Pfeiffer play Catwoman in Batman Returns. I kind of knew since then. I didn't think it was an option for me. I didn't even really understand it until I was older, until I really had a chance to see outside of my own religion, to see outside of the narrow viewpoint of my tiny town that I grew up in. Didn't even know it was a possibility. So yes, I am bisexual. Am I thankful I can pass? Kind of. Honestly, I feel really bad for all of my friends. All of my friends that are married, and they may lose the right to stay married in our country. They may lose I'm sure they don't feel safe right now. I'm sure they don't feel supported by the majority of our country, right? They don't feel safe, and they shouldn't, and it's really sad. I don't feel safe here. I feel angry. I feel incredibly alone sometimes, because like most of my family, I'm sure they voted for Trump. I'm pretty positive they did. And they know who I am. They know that I'm gay, and they know that I'm vegan, and I care about the people around me. I know it doesn't matter to them. You know what? But you guys matter to me. My community matters to me. The people around me who are different than me matter to me. Everyone has inherent value as a human being to be here. And I don't think I'm better than anyone else. And I don't think that I deserve more than my neighbor. And I think if we all just took what we needed, everyone would have enough, right? It's just this greed, this materialistic culture. I'm so sick of it. And I know a lot of you are too. So let's focus on building community. Let's focus on being kind to others, not nice, but kind. Be genuine. Really get to know somebody, have empathy, work on your empathy skills, because that is a huge issue. I just feel like there's such a lack of empathy, and everybody they stay in their own lane. They only think about themselves, and I'm just sick and tired of the selfish me culture of America.